But the history of apartheid and those who worked to end it is easily accessible to visitors.
On Robben Island, a small flat island just a few miles off the coast of Cape Town, visitors can see where those who fought against apartheid were held. The island's most famous resident, Nelson Mandela, was held here for most of his 27-year prison sentence. In fact, 3 of South Africa's last presidents served time here during apartheid. Visitors can take a ferry from the Victoria and Alfred waterfront, a touristy port area with shops, restaurants, entertainment, and rides. The ferry takes about 40 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on which boat you take. When we get to the island, we meet some local residents and then load on a bus and get a tour of the island, including the rock quarry where Mandela and other political prisoners worked. It was here in a cave that many of the ideas for the new constitution were formed by Mandela and others while breaking rocks all day. In fact, our guide really does know the history firsthand.
What did you get put in prison for?
We were charged with high treason. We were arrested in 1984 under Section 29 of Internal Security Act, that is detention without trial. 10 months down the line, we were found guilty and sentenced to 30 years each.
Can you describe a day in prison for you?
And I was working in that kitchen when I was still staying in E section. So I will walk to the kitchen, help with washing the dishes, preparing for the next meal. After lock-up time at 4, I will concentrate on my books. I studied.
But he says they didn't always have that many freedoms. The first prisoners fought for rights. Even their food and uniforms were subject to apartheid.
The ones who do not have shoes on, who have short trousers and short sleeves, those are black prisoners. The Indians, the colored, or even the Chinese or the Asians were allowed to have socks on, shoes on, simply because they were not black people.
Inside the prison, he shows us where the political prisoners were kept.
In this prison we have 7 sections all in all. 3 of those sections are single cell sections. B section was for the leaders of different organizations. We're always in here, that door always locked. And this section is the only section in this prison that didn't have running water. They were using bucket system. They were not allowed to go anywhere outside this section.
But he says the prisoners found ways to get around the rules, including Nelson Mandela's vegetable garden.
And that garden was also used as a hiding place. Like one of the things that was hidden right at the corner there, it was part of the manuscripts of the book called The Long Walk to Freedom, which was written by Nelson Mandela while he was here.
The boys are shocked by the size of the cells.
This is where Nelson Mandela was being kept when he was here. He didn't have a bed. He just slept on the floor, and there was no bathroom.
And the reasons that the prisoners were locked up here.
During apartheid, you could be locked up for what you believe in.
And you sleep in these tiny little cells.
You were kept here for years.
And your family could barely ever visit.
Not many people escaped.
But our guide did get to escape in a way when apartheid ended in the early 1990s.
That was the happiest day of my life. I was supposed to spend 30 years here, to spend 5.5, and all of a sudden I'm going home. I was a very happy man.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, Mama.
Thank you.